Hi everyone, my name is Alicia Sutikno and I'm a 12th grader from Binabangsa School. As of now, I've been accepted to several universities in the United Kingdom and in Hong Kong as well, but I've decided that I'll be going to the University of Hong Kong as my firm choice. Today, I'll be talking about my tips and tricks on how to prepare for future exams. First of all, what are the things that I usually have with me? Before I study, I usually have my textbooks, notes, post-its, laptop, and iPad with me. For certain subjects, I usually refer to a revision guide that you can get online. It's also important to have like a huge bottle of water by your side and perhaps a bowl of snacks as well, because studying really takes a toll on your hunger and thirst. And if you don't eat or drink something, it's going to be very hard to concentrate. Now, for me personally, I prefer to study in my bedroom. However, I found out that some of my friends couldn't concentrate in their rooms, so they opted to study elsewhere. Honestly, it's fine wherever you want to study, but as much as possible, find a place that is away from a lot of noise. If not, you can always plug in your earphones and listen to some music that you know won't distract you. The most important part is finding a place with minimal distractions. Honestly, get enough sleep, and I cannot stress this enough. I found out that on the days where I slept only for an hour or two, I literally couldn't concentrate at all. Sure, studying is important, but there's no point in staying up so late at night because chances are you won't even retain any of the material you learned. This brings me to my second point. Before you actually study, make sure to never procrastinate because you never really realize how much time you waste until it's gone. During both online classes and physical lessons, I usually have this notebook where I take rough notes on, which means that as a teacher speaks, I try my best to take down all of the important points and descriptions that the teacher is talking about. At home, I would then rewrite all of the notes and add in some content for my textbooks, worksheets, and revision guides as well. This is something I found to be very effective as it helps me recall whatever I learned in school and in tuition as well. Before your major exams, be sure to do a lot of practice. In my case, I'm taking the Cambridge International Examinations. So doing a lot of past year papers as practice really helped me a lot in my preliminary examinations and my mock exams. In my opinion, I think that online exams are way harder than real life exams. For some reason, I figured that the questions that the teachers asked on my online exams were much harder than the ones I did in physical school. In some cases where I was only allowed to write down my answers on a piece of paper and view the question on my laptop, I managed to somehow accidentally skip a lot of questions that I did not know was there. Oh no, online exams are hard because it's so much easier to do careless mistakes for such a careless person like me. Okay, so basically in my math prelims, I didn't know that there was an extra page that I had to do. Like I missed it. Doing online learning has changed my studying style a lot. To me, studying online is very hard as we don't get the same amount of support and learning material from our teachers as we do in physical school. Online lessons also mostly require us to be independent learners, which may be tough for those who aren't used to it. Throughout this pandemic, I experimented with a lot of different ways to aid in my studies and decided to choose on which one was the best for me. And for me, that is looking up practice material on the internet and not solely relying on the worksheets my teachers give me. The worksheets my teachers usually give me are for some reason always much easier than the exams they make, which is unfair, honestly. However, throughout this pandemic, I'm still enrolled in HOTS. With the help of HOTS education, I was able to excel in my studies despite the situation that all of us are in. HOTS education provides me with only the best resources and teachers, and they help me significantly improve my learning experience. Pandemic or not, the teachers at HOTS education are consistently amazing, and that is what helped me get through my final year of high school. First of all, there's a lot of content on YouTube. Like if you're, for example, learning about object-oriented programming or recursive functions, you can look it up on YouTube, and some of the videos there are actually very useful most of the time. You can also look at websites like Znotes or VAK Notes. A lot of note websites, I guess, they're really helpful as well. You can also like buy supplementary books if you want, if you're willing to spend money on revision guides, because I think they're pretty useful for me at least. not everyone can learn from YouTube. Not everyone can learn from like just listening. So it really depends on the person. Just experiment and like figure out what your learning style is. Honestly, I'm not the best person to ask that. Like, I don't know, like I can never calm my nerves. Like I'm always so nervous. I think yeah, one of the reasons why I always feel so scared before an exam is because I think that I didn't prepare well enough for it. Well, that's mostly because I procrastinated a lot or like I just didn't understand the material. So I recommend that you guys don't procrastinate at all and try your best to understand the material. When you're like 5 minutes before the exam starts, like you just have to accept like, oh, the exam is here. And there's no point in being like so worried about it because it's just an hour or two. You're gonna get over it.